right. Well, we're going to bring on Grammy-nominated producer, publisher, and author Rick Bleiweiss. I think.
Oh, boy.
You know me, I can't do names.
Not at all.
He's a slacker. Look at all that stuff he's doing. Are you kidding me?
All right. Well,
let's bring him on. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing? What part of the country are you in?
I'm in southern Oregon, and it's just after 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, it's early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
three
about the
zones
time
away.
we get up every morning.
So what's the big thing in Southern Oregon?
Well, in the area where we live in, Ashland is the home of the Oregon Shakespeare Festival.
Oh.
The oldest repertory theater company in America, and the Ashland Independent Film Festival, which is one of the top film festivals in the world, and I have Blackstone Publishing, which is founded and still based here.
Oh, how wonderful.
Pretty cool. Very
There's
nice.
also a great lake there called Klamath Lake, not in that area, but in Oregon.
Yep.
See, you say Oregon, I say Oregon.
Well, that's
because I'm from New Jersey. Yeah, okay.
Well, we excuse you for that.
Thank you.
You know, I'm actually originally from New York and New Jersey myself, so I'm not sure I say it correctly either.
What parts of the state were you actually in originally?
I was born in Newark, and I was raised in a combination of Great Neck on Long Island and Manhattan.
Oh, yeah,
Wow,
so
okay.
me, Sands Point in Manhattan. Here we go. We were neighbors.
Yeah.
Good stuff indeed.
So tell us how you got out to Oregon from New York and New Jersey, and how you got into being a publisher and a producer and an author.
Well, as a producer, a record producer, I just was in music my entire life, and I started playing in rock and roll bands in the early days of rock and roll, and I just never left music until I left New York in 2002, and I went from playing music to producing records to being an executive in record companies. Then I sort of retired and moved to Ashland from New York City, and joined boards of directors and kind of got bored and started writing, joined a writing group. I started writing, and I was introduced to Blackstone. I was hired there and started using all my knowledge from New York out here and transferred it from music to publishing.
Is there any recordings you were involved with over the years that we would know about?
Well, I produced a record, which it depends if you were into disco music or not, for one thing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let me just
come on now.
No. Let me just preface this, Rick. Frank has edited every Billboard charted song, and we have 6,000 of them in the rotation.
But I was actually a big fan of disco.
Yeah, but we're the only station in the U.S. who has that.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he is you're talking to a music guy. Let me just tell you.
So which recording?
I produced a record called 7654321 Blow Your Whistle.
Oh, I've heard that. You sure?
Yeah, we sold 500,000 copies,
Yep,
and it
that's
actually was a
club
record that popularized whistles in discotheques.
Yep. I used to play in the dance clubs, discos back in the day, and that was not a big pop hit, but a big hit on the dance charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we made number 3 on the disco charts. We made number 7, I think, on the R&B charts, and it peaked at about 41 on the pop chart.
Yeah, it's always kind of funny, and I always love songs like that because we add a lot of them into our library here. We remember the songs, but they weren't big, hit records on the pop charts. And, if they didn't get into the top 40, they didn't get really airplay in New York.
But you play them all.
Yeah, we play them all.
Well, great. I hope you play it sometime.
Definitely.
It's in our rotation, believe me.
Yeah, there you go.
If it was on the bill, it was on the chart. It's rotating here.
Yep.
So let's talk about your book now.
Sure.
The name of it is
Pignon Scorbion and the Barbershop Detectives.
Okay, where'd that name come from?
It came through research. I postulated, it just came to me when I started writing the book, that his dad would be Egyptian and his mother would be Haitian. And so I looked for an Egyptian name that was cool, and I found Scorbion was an Egyptian name. And then I postulate in the book that his father traveled to Haiti and met his mother there, and she lived in a real region in Haiti called Pignon. And so I thought Pignon Scorbion would just be a very cool and different name for a title character.
Where's the Barbershop Detectives come from?
Well, he solves his cases in a barbershop with the aid of the barbers, the shoe shine man, a young reporter, and a brilliant female bookstore owner. And so they become the barbershop detectives, assisting him in solving the crimes.
I love this. So this sounds like a series, by the way, Rick.
Well, I've already written the second book. It'll be published next year, and we're out soliciting a TV and film deal right now.
Oh, of course you are, because
Nice.
it sounds very visual and different for a change. And I love murder mysteries. I grew up reading those. Those are my favorites.
Well, I hope you'll enjoy it. It's written in the old style, if you will, of Agatha Christie.
Oh, I love Agatha. I have every one of her books and have read every one of them.
Oh, well, then you have to read my book.
I wish they had sent it to me. I would have read it by now.
Well, I will. I'll get your address, and I'll absolutely shoot it to you.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you have worked with Clive Davis, who, God bless him, still around.
Yep.
One of the pioneers of that business. Melissa Etheridge, who's incredible. The Backstreet Boys, Kiss, U2, Whitney Houston, the Bee Gees, who, what else do you say about them?
Yeah, can't get much better than that.
Saturday Night Fever, and this is Spinal Tap. I love Spinal Tap. That was such a iconic movie because there was nothing like it.
No, absolutely. And Spinal Tap was kind of interesting because the Russ Regan, who was the man who discovered Olivia Newton-John and Neil Diamond and others, he made the connection to Reiner, and I was kind of Russ's marketing guy, and so he flew me out to L.A., met with Reiner and the guys, and we formulated the entire plan for the marketing of the soundtrack, which was going to launch the movie. And I created the marketing plan for that whole thing. That
was some marketing plan, let me tell you. That was incredible. It's still alive and healthy.
Absolutely. And in fact, I think there's a revival coming.
Oh, interesting. And it's funny, I think we saw a concert recently on TV of the Bee Gees.
Well, there's a couple of them running that they keep
80s,
running, yeah.
And, we just sit here and think, how sad for Barry that his brothers are all gone, because that was a really close family. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, one by one. And, boy, what a talent that was.
Yep.
Well, how come? Okay, Rick, because we sound like old fogies here. It's like there's no music anymore. None. And the people that are producing the music, they're just like PRing it to death. It's like you have to have an insane name. You can't be a Frank Sinatra. You can't, you can't have a normal name. You have to be Post Malone. It's just a Lady Gaga. Can your talent just speak for itself, please? I don't care what your name is. And the problem is they're so electronically produced. We don't hear voices other than Katy Perry and Bruno Mars. I don't really hear anything. And they have no new stuff coming out. The people are accepting these subpar music. And so you have people that are being PR'd to death out there. And the kids are afraid, like the Emperor's New Clothes, to say they suck, Well,
you know what I find interesting? I just read an article the other day, and I don't remember where it was from. You might look it up. That older music is now accounting for more streams than contemporary music, and it is a problem with the contemporary music scene.
Wow, well, look at that. They're waking up, Frank.
Well, that's why they're trying to hit radio with more fees and trying to get other ways to make income, because they're not making it from the new stuff out there.
They're really killing us. I think we have 5 people we have to pay now.
That's a lot of crazy
for
stuff.
The same thing. It's just crazy. But, for the music, we have 50,000 songs in our library. The 6,000 are streaming and also on the air. I mean, it's really, we get the compliment we get on our music is that they don't hear the same song twice. And that's the key thing.
They're all songs.
And Frank actually does a recollection show live on Monday night from 6 to 8 where people can call in, actually. Remember, live DJs.
Yeah, from the 70s.
Everything from the 70s. Because you have to admit, Rick, right? Only decade where any type of music could have been number one, but they had to be great.
Yep.
You could have disco.
Really good stuff.
You could have the Doobie Brothers. You could have America. You could have anybody.
I always looked at the 70s as great musicians, lots of the beginnings of some, great rock and roll, obviously, and also a good sound quality that we didn't really have in the 60s. We had okay sound quality back then.
Stereo.
But once you got to, it was, but once you got to the 70s, it really sounded great. And it was like you were there.
People were stoned, that's why.
Yeah, that too. Maybe that's what it is.
What do we know?
No, but it still sounds good today. So that's,
where you
get it from.
Well, let's talk about the book a little more. Now, is there like a surprise ending in this murder mystery?
Yes.
Oh, good. I can't wait to...
It's kind of interesting because like the older style mysteries of that era, it takes place in England in 1910, the Downton Abbey era, and it actually has 3 different crimes in it, but there is one crime that goes through the entire book, and it has a surprise ending, and I don't want to give the ending away.
No, don't do that.
There's a crime with a fortune seeker, there's a murder at a circus, and then there's a crime of passion.
Ooh, the circus thing is the one I'm interested in, because I work with the Animal Defenders International that close those all over the world. So that's real. Oh, I love this. Have you thought about the people you want playing the parts in this movie?
I've thought about it, and because we're out trying to get a deal on it, I'm going to let the producers decide who they want. If you were going to ask me who, throughout time, might have been the person I would... oh gosh, I'm not sure who I would pick particularly.
Well, let me ask you: is George Clooney in there?
Well, yeah, he certainly could be. So could Sean Connery, or
oh God, I wish.
You know, who knows? And there were some great Egyptian actors, as well back in the day in the 50s and 60s. So any of them could have played it. And the book's doing really well. It's I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Of course you are.
It's an Amazon editor's pick.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely have that out there. Because everything is on Amazon anyway. That's why it's called Amazon, I think.
Yeah, but it was voted the Buzz Book of the Year by an independent retailer group. Publishers Weekly picked it as a debut mystery pick, and it's doing great. It came out on Tuesday, and it's just really rocketing, and I'm floored. I'm sad, happy, and I'm floored at the same time.
Well, you gave them something that people need, and that's a key thing. It's like, the time of the pet rock, everybody bought one because it was timely. We need a good mystery novel. We hadn't had one in a long time. I used to read John McDonald years ago.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have that type of mystery, and people, just like we were talking to somebody yesterday, Lloyd Schwartz. I don't know if you know who he is. His father, Sherwood Schwartz, did the Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island.
Okay.
And we were saying they don't have Brady Bunch anymore. They don't have these wonderful shows on TV where people can say, "Oh, it's a nice show about a family," and you enjoy it. They have to kill each other. They have to destroy one another on the planet. And, we want to get back to some of that stuff, some of the fun stuff, a good mystery where you can, maybe not figure it out.
Well, that's what this is. It's a classic whodunit. It's a throwback to that era. And it's great entertainment and escapism from all today's stresses.
And boy, do we need that.
That's what the book is. I want people to be and enjoy it and try to solve the mysteries and have fun with the very colorful cast of characters. All
right, what's your website for you besides the Amazon where they can buy the book? Do you have...
It's rickbleiweiss.com. It's rickbleiweiss.com.
All right, I beg everyone to go there and get a copy of this book. I mean, this is going to be the greatest escape you can have.
Go to Amazon, though, because I'm not selling it on my website.
Yeah, no, that's just to find out information about you. Yeah, so, and I'm sure you have a link there for Amazon for the book, too, right?
Yeah, also, Barnes & Noble, but I also am a huge supporter of independent retail booksellers.
Oh, us too.
And I urge people to buy it there as well.
Yeah, if you have a local bookstore, please support them.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough, Rick, for coming on the air. It's delightful. I am so looking forward to reading this book. I can't tell you. It'll take me back to a time when I was like 15 and reading all these books.
Well, I will, absolutely, and I will find out a way to get your information so I can get it to you.
All right, you got it. Well, Rick, have a great day. Enjoy. Go back to sleep.
I might.
I would if they let me. But anyway, have a great day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. Bye-bye, Rick.
Bye-bye.
That was wonderful. Boy, this guy has really done an enormous amount in his life. Incredible.